Wait a minute.
Whenever y'all ready.
Good evening. This is Teddy Perham live at the state capitol of Virginia, and I'm interviewing our candidate Chris Dorsey for the Richmond Sheriff's Department. All right, Mr. Dorsey, you're on.
Yeah, thanks, Teddy. My name is Chris Dorsey. I'm running for sheriff in the city of Richmond. I just made a video a couple days ago stating the fact that I've been calling out the corruption in the city, state, and federal government, the institutions that control the city, state, and federal government. And I've been calling out my opponents in the sheriff's race. There's an election coming up in November, and they're all refusing to debate me. So I'm going to have to debate them, myself. And so this is my platform. You can go to dorseyforsheriff.com and see all of this information. And I'm just going to read what my platform is. I didn't take all that much money. It took relatively a little amount of money to go to Kinko's and get this copied, so people can know what they're voting for instead of just going blindly into a voting booth. First and foremost, uphold the U.S. and Virginia constitutions. And what we have now, the people who occupy this building behind me, that's the Capitol, the General Assembly, and the Senate of the state of Virginia, they are always, in almost every action that they take, in violation of the United States and Virginia constitutions. And in the jail, the current sheriff is continuously costing the taxpayers of Richmond millions of dollars and costing many lives by violating Amendment 8 of the U.S. Constitution, which prevents cruel and unusual punishment, or I should say prohibits cruel and unusual punishment. All who violate the law, including corporate officers and government officials, will be arrested. We will absolutely never have any improvement in our government until the corrupt officials that control everything, from the international drug trade to the deaths at the Richmond jail to the amount of money workers get to just about everything. The institutions that control the government, they act in a criminal manner. They violate the law. For example, Jeffrey Lacker, president of the Richmond Federal Reserve Bank. He's the third most powerful banker in America. He violates the law. He will be arrested. End the unconstitutional war on drugs. There has been a declared war on the American people since the 1950s, and it's been going on longer than that. So, how is it that it is government policy to declare war on the people? According to the Virginia Constitution, all power is vested and derived from the people. Declaration of Independence, it says that in redundancy, that people are, given unalienable rights by their creator. We have a certain amount of sovereignty and a certain amount of rights under the law of God that a government can't take away. And the government attempts to take everything away. They tell you what you can and can't put in your body. They can't tell me. As you've seen before, I have consumed cannabis on these very grounds, reading first from the King James Version of the Bible and then reading second from the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. So they can't tell me anything because I comprehend the law and I have a higher standing under the law than any of my opponents or anybody who sits in this building. The Richmond jail will cease jailing people with non-violent drug charges. We're not going to lock people up for smoking a joint anymore. Actually, we're not going to do anything negative when people do anything positive for themselves, including smoking cannabis or consuming cannabis, one of the world's most ancient medicines that makes people think clearly. That is a competition that will wipe out all the poison pharmaceutical drugs that the demons that control our society give out to the people. No thanks. We'll be able to decide for ourselves, and y'all can't tell us anything. And the same goes for the rest of the folks in Richmond, because we're going to enforce the Constitution even if nobody else around the country does it. Only those who pose a threat to the people and violate the law will be jailed. You have to harm somebody before you're going to go to jail. And before that, you're going to get a jury trial, which is mandated by the United States Constitution. All your rights will be there for you. You will receive more rights. We will spend more time attempting to keep people out of jail than putting them in. Only the people who violate the law and pose a threat to society will be jailed. That's up to the people. It's not up to judges who get paid to lock people up. It's not up to sheriffs who get paid to lock people up. It's not up to mayors who get multi-million-dollar construction kickbacks from their cronies to decide who to lock up. And the corruption in the sheriff's office and government as a whole. You know, the sheriff's corruption, that's just a small part of it. You know, I'm pointing at the Federal Reserve Bank right now. I'm pointing at that body, that building, right over there, downtown Richmond. That's where the criminal entity stems from. They'll be held under account. They'll be held accountable under the law, and that includes Jeff Lacker. No more deaths due to cruel and unusual punishment. C.T. Woody has, killed a number of people, and in just about every case, it's due to cruel, sadistic, and unusual punishment. That will end. That's a violation of the law. It's costing the taxpayers millions. I've directly confronted him on this. He thinks it's a joke. He told me it was a great question, and now they're sealing the records of any wrongful death suits. No more hiring family. Woody hires lots of family members, pays them more than he pays others. This last part. I'm going to reduce my own pay once I'm sheriff over $100,000 from what the current sheriff is being paid. I can survive on very little money, and I plan on using that money to hire people and to help people out. And my name's Chris Dorsey. You can go to dorseyforsheriff.com. I really thank you for your time. We're all in this together. All power is vested and derived from the people, and we are sovereign entities. We are sovereign individuals, and that's decided by a higher power than the government. We have rights, and I plan to enforce the rights of the people and enforce the law. Thank you very much for your time. Chris Dorsey, dorseyforsheriff.com, and 804-938-7773. Thank you.
And Mr. Dorsey, may we have your email address, please?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. RVA, the number 4, peace@gmail.com. And that's RVA, the number 4, peace@gmail.com.
Thank you, Mr. Dorsey. Good job.